Hello my little flowers, welcome to the channel. My name is Sunny. Okay, so we're going to be trying something a little bit different. I wanted to talk about this recent Kanye West story. Not too much about, what he said and why it's scandalous and why everybody should cancel Kanye. What I do want to do is talk about the effects of us talking about this. I know this Kanye West story seems a bit out of my league, but there was something here that I really wanted to touch on as to how stories like this in the media can affect the world around us and the conversations we have. With questions like, has cancel culture gone too far? Is the media over-dramatizing the impact of West's comments? Are people being ableist for criticizing some off-color things that he said? Or are we being overzealous by demanding brand affiliation with cancelled celebrities like Kanye to be revoked? To those questions above, I want to say off the bat that I think the answer to most of them is no, but a very nuanced no, and I'll explain why more thoroughly. See, I'm framing these questions for this conversation because they're really the main things being asked here. No matter who you talk to about this, the response will likely include an answer to some, if not all, of those questions. Full sentences only. This is not a conversation surrounded solely around West, but using Kanye's, or Ye as he prefers to be called, situation as an example of the toxicity of the media cycle and how it perpetuates the ideas and egos of the celebrities caught within it. Okay, recap to what's been, happening so far. So, Kanye started stirring up controversy when he showed up to a private event at Paris Fashion Week with Candace Owens wearing a White Lives Matter t-shirt. There was some big pushback for that. Later, on October 8th, he would go on to post anti-Semitic stuff on Twitter and Instagram, talking about how he would go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. This caused him to be locked out of his Twitter and restricted by Instagram, causing a frenzy of not only controversy on his part, but reaction after reaction towards it, being hosted on Fox News to talk about his said opinions. He also made it onto a podcast where he proceeded to say this about George Floyd.
They hit him with the fentanyl. If you look, the guy's knee wasn't even on his neck like that.
That caused even more reaction from the public and the media. And finally, to top it all off, he makes this statement on a podcast.
I could say anti-Semitic things and Adidas can't drop me. Now.
Ironically, following this, Adidas stopped working with him and suffered huge losses because of it. Reportedly, Kanye showed up at Skechers headquarters uninvited to propose bringing a new deal to them, probably because he lost a lot of money. Of course, this was a very short recap, because the problem with West and statements like these go back years and years. The media reacts to West, which reacts to the media, who reacts to West, and so on. I don't know if you noticed the cycle, but the cycle is basically reacting. Rather than Ye reacting to the reason people are upset, though. And let's be honest, a lot of Twitter upset happens without general reason. Not this. He reacts to the implication of being restricted. Restricted in action and in speech. That he's bound to these, quote, rules that people abide by to pass the vibe check. He then doubles down on his opinion, showcasing that he has the control. While people scream about canceling him, then the media headlines him, and his fans support him unequivocally. And the cycle continues endlessly. This can easily be reflected by the reactions of Kanye's fans or enemies when the story dropped that Adidas canceled affiliation with West. These are the reactions. Notice how the fan reactions are talking about the limit of platform and speech rather than the tangible ripple effects that his actions and statements have created.
Anti-Semitic banners were hung over a freeway in Los Angeles. Some of the banners read, "Honk if you know Kanye is right about the Jews."
While I think that the media has a habit of absolutely overstating the issue sometimes, I really don't think that's exactly what's at play here. Do I think cancel culture has gone too far on this one? I mean, yes and no. These comments absolutely invite anti-Semitism, a boldness in ditching how careful we are to speak on these issues, but he's not the only one perpetuating the problem. But the media loves Kanye because Kanye is reactionary, and they both feed each other in this never-ending loop, allowing Kanye's rhetoric to be the big topic all the time, and Kanye's most devoted fans to enable this feedback. On the flip side, I hear commentary creators talk about how having a platform to speak and people to listen is a privilege and a responsibility, in response to people being cancelled over spreading hate like this. It's true, and I agree. Take Andrew Tate, for example, who built a social media empire over the reactions of people had towards his blatant misogyny. Kanye's and Tate's underhanded ways of announcing that they vibe with people who have edgier opinions has encouraged people who think like this to coagulate and take action, to try and turn the tide of popular opinion. But their platform isn't the only thing providing exposure to their ideas. It's the reaction, the quote tweeting, the headlining, the news stories it shares with the rest of the world. Hey, this is an opinion of that dude, isn't it effed up? I think it's important, really super important, to strike down these ideas, to have these conversations that are being had, to share our ideas and our reasoning, to amplify the voices of those affected. But when do we know when enough is enough? To people who suffer mental health disorders, the media can play a huge part in perpetuating a cycle of attention and toxicity and extreme reaction that most people don't have to go through, and thus can't sympathize with. This isn't to say at all that Kanye having bipolar should affect him being criticized for his actions. There's no excuse to act like a total ass to people. He has a lot of resources to get help, quite frankly. But what I'm saying is, we definitely need to be more mindful of the part we're playing in enabling a certain behavior. To reflect and consider once in a while if we're helping or we're hurting by talking about these things. So yeah, responsibility. From this, I was just gonna go on a little tangent related to this, but not so much related to Kanye. So commentary creators sometimes don't take their own advice. Anyway, so I've been studying commentary creators a lot. I've been speaking with them and getting some advice from certain people, and, doing as they do, just trying to figure myself out because I really like to be a commentary creator. But I did realize sometimes that commentary creators sometimes don't take their own advice. News media in general has a lack of caring, honestly. But the commentary community, whether it's on Twitch, a podcast, or on YouTube, often fall into a similar groove of bidding for attention regardless of consequences. Yours truly falls into the mindset too sometimes, but I do my best to reflect on it. That is to say, there's a trap here that we might be extra susceptible to falling down. And I've seen it happen before, actually, before I even considered being a commentary creator. With people like Gabby Hanna, especially Gabby Hanna, Anision, and even Hypnotist Sappho. These are people known for being where they are today, due in some small part to hatred or ostensive defending of their positions. It's kind of the trade-off that you get by talking about these things to try to strike down these opinions. His career is definitely kept relevant by reactions to his comments and actions, but it's also equally as hurt by them. Ooh, that's some thunder. Sorry guys, it's raining. Okay, leave me alone about it. There's rain. It's ambiance, guys. It's ambiance. I'll even add a rain effect for more ambiance. Anyway, to a degree, the news media has always been this way. This is how we stay informed on our opinions of people, of relevant topics, and how people have careers. Before the internet, all you really knew about the situation was as much as the news was willing to report about in the daily paper. Anyway, I just wanted to point out that cycle that some people have been talking about and encourage us to think about where our voices are headed, maybe. mostly me. I'm considering that for myself as well. Are they feeding their platform or critiquing it? Honestly, the media attention feeding Ye was helping his platform for a while. People were seeing him, talking about him, getting involved in his music and buying his products. To his fans, however, it becomes less about his statements affect other people and more about how people are affecting him. You know, like, how dare you limit his speech? How dare you deplatform him? He just has a message. I hope this isn't too political, but, you know, yeah. And once the attention dies out from this news story, he might end up fading into the internet's collective conscience. Or he does something more drastic for attention, and the media gives it to him because, you know, why not? But certainly, we can do our best to have responsible conversations around him instead of feeding the beast. It's now up to us and the way we have these conversations with people. When do we stop and realize that our criticism at some point in the timeline becomes life support for their relevancy? Onision, Gabby Hanna, Hypnotist? I don't know. It's definitely something to think about, and some dialogue I wanted to add to the world. And absolutely something I wanted to ask you guys, because you guys are extremely inquisitive. You're amazing at keeping up the conversation in the comments, and I really appreciate talking to you guys about things like this. It's what motivates me to make videos and ask these sorts of questions, and then spend 5 hours editing. So let me know what you think. I could definitely do another deep dive into this topic, because there's a lot to say. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah, and follow me on Twitter, and join the Discord, and consider getting commissions from me, because I need money. Okay, thank you guys, bye.